The air is dry, thick with dust, the smell of sweat, smoke, and something akin to desperation. You've just arrived in the world, not with fragrant midwives or sterile hospitals. Forget clean towels. Your cradle is a straw mattress in a log cabin, or worse, the cold floor of a dusty wagon. Your sharp cries of birth mingle with the howl of the wind outside, perhaps a distant gunshot. The first lesson you learn is that life here doesn't ask permission. It simply throws you. You're tossed onto a chessboard where every piece, including you, is expendable. And your chances of even seeing your first birthday, well, let's just say they're slimmer than finding gold in your backyard. This is your welcome to a world defined by raw survival, not comfort. A world where every breath is a defiant act against overwhelming odds. You barely open your eyes before you're fighting. The first battle is against ubiquitous diseases. Cholera, diphtheria, measles. They lurk in every dirty corner, relentless and unforgiving. The doctor. If one exists, he's more likely a charlatan with whiskey and a dull saw. Your parents, weary and scarred by life, eye you with a mix of love and stark worry. They know each day is a small, hard-won victory in this harsh environment. Childhood innocence. Forget about it. Purity is a luxury for another age. Your toy box holds a piece of wood or, more likely, a utilitarian knife. And yes, you'll learn to handle it long before you master reading. Survival skills are etched into your tiny hands, replacing nursery rhymes with hard lessons. Every scraped knee is a reminder. Life is cheap and lessons are brutally practical. Books? What books are you talking about? Your education begins and ends with the unforgiving land. Before your permanent teeth even settle, you're already hauling water from the well. You're feeding livestock, learning to ride a horse, or how to properly wield a rifle. Formal schooling is an extreme rarity, a rickety shack with a teacher barely competent. Frankly, that teacher would much rather be anywhere else than in that dusty room. Your real homework is ensuring your family eats, stays safe, and ideally isn't murdered. All this must be done before the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues. The lessons are harsh, taught by necessity, and the penalties for failure are dire. You're not just learning, you're adapting to a world that demands constant vigilance. This brutal curriculum shapes you, carving resilience where innocence once stood. Your palate doesn't have many options here. Variety is a foreign concept. Hardtack biscuits, firm as rocks, are a staple, often served with rancid bacon if you're lucky. There's chewable jerky and coffee so strong it could genuinely wake the dead. Variety is almost non-existent. The looming threat of hunger is a constant companion. A bad harvest, a brutal winter, a swarm of locusts, and your family stares into the void. Your stomach rumbles, a constant reminder of the precarious balance of your existence. But hey, at least you won't ever have to suffer through the indignity of eating broccoli. Ironic chuckle. Every meal is a gamble, a small victory against scarcity itself. You learn to appreciate the meager scraps, the simple sustenance that keeps you going. Taste buds aside, the primary function of food is pure, unadulterated survival. Law is a fluctuating concept here, as elusive as the dust that blankets everything. The sheriff? He could be a brave, righteous man, upholding a semblance of order. Or he might be a corrupt drunkard, caring only for his own pocket and personal gain. And what if there's no sheriff at all? Then justice is meted out. It's often delivered at the barrel of a revolver or by a rope around the accused's neck. The fury of a vengeful mob or a quick, brutal duel often serves as the final arbiter. Duels are public spectacles, grim entertainment for those brave enough to watch. Outlaws become legends, their names whispered in saloons until they are violently killed. The line between right and wrong is blurred, drawn by power and intimidation. Your safety often depends less on statutes and more on your quick draw. Your neighbors aren't just the ranchers on the next dusty stretch of land. They are also the native tribes, justifiably furious at the relentless invasion of their ancestral lands. And yes, you are very much caught in the middle of this desperate, often bloody conflict. There are also road agents, ruthless cattle rustlers, and quick-tempered gunslingers. These men might kill you for a perceived slight, a wrong look, or for pure sport. You sleep with one eye open, a loaded weapon always within arm's reach by your bed. The thin line between bare survival and sudden violent death is finer than a single hair. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle outside, could signal impending doom. Trust is a rare commodity, earned only through shared hardship and proven loyalty. The Wild West truly earns its name, constantly reminding you of its untamed nature. Frontier towns are swirling vortices of barely contained chaos and unbridled vice. Saloons with perpetually swinging doors, the off-key plink of a piano echoing into the night. Gambling dens where fortunes are made and lost in a blinding flash of cards or dice. Brothels where lives and money ebb away just as quickly as they were acquired. Alcohol acts as the universal anesthetic, numbing the harsh realities of your existence. The siren call of gold or easy cattle is the bait, luring many to their inevitable ruin. You find yourself right in the thick of it, with temptation hissing from every dark corner. The air itself feels charged with desperation, greed, and a fleeting sense of freedom. These towns are both a refuge and a trap, offering fleeting pleasures at a terrible cost. They are a vivid, dangerous tableau of humanity pushed to its wildest extremes. Forget antibiotics, complex surgeries, or even a decent painkiller. They simply don't exist. Broken arm? They'll try to fix it with crude wooden splints and fervent prayers. An infection? Prepare for a raging fever and more often than not a swift, grim end. Pain is a constant, an inescapable part of your daily, unforgiving existence in this era. The only thing offering true relief is whiskey, which ironically also slowly kills you. Every ache, every injury is a stark reminder of your body's fragility. Medical care is a desperate gamble, a last resort often more terrifying than the ailment. You learn to endure, to compartmentalize the suffering, to simply push through. The stoicism born of constant agony becomes a defining trait of your character. It's a harsh world where discomfort is the norm, and death is always a breath away. You dream of owning your own land, your own ranch, a bountiful harvest stretching to the horizon. But the soil itself is a treacherous adversary, an unpredictable force of nature. Droughts can transform fertile fields into barren deserts within mere weeks, crushing hopes. Flash floods can sweep away everything you've built, years of labor gone in an instant. Plagues of locusts can descend, destroying an entire season's hard work in a single day. And the dreaded sandstorms, they engulf you, blinding you, suffocating you under layers of grit. You dig, you plant, you pray with every fiber of your being for a good season. And more often than not, despite your monumental efforts, you ultimately lose the battle. The land gives, but it takes far more, asserting its dominance over human ambition. It's a relentless, silent war against an opponent you can never truly defeat. The distances are truly vast out here, stretching interminably in every direction. Communication with the outside world is almost non-existent, a distant rumor. You can spend weeks, even months, without seeing a new face or hearing fresh news. Nights are profoundly dark, eerily silent, filled only with the howl of coyotes. Your thoughts become your closest companions, echoing in the profound stillness. There's no electricity, no running water, no sanitation, just primitive, solitary living. The loneliness is a heavy burden, a constant weight on your shoulders, testing your spirit. Yet it also becomes a brutal teacher of resilience, forging strength in isolation. Or perhaps it slowly nudges you towards the brink of an inescapable madness. The endless horizon promises freedom but delivers a solitude that can consume you. Despite all the relentless hardship and ceaseless struggle, you somehow manage to live. Each new day is a small, hard-won victory against impossible odds, a testament to your grit. A shared glass of whiskey in the dusty saloon with friends, if you're fortunate enough to have them. A rare, impromptu, dusty dance, a moment of fleeting joy amidst the grim reality. A bath, though rare, is a truly invigorating luxury, a brief respite from the grime. A child that miraculously survives infancy, a beacon of hope in a world of despair. You learn to profoundly value these minuscule victories, these slivers of happiness, because the grand luxuries of life, as others might know them, are almost unattainable here. Life expectancy was abysmally low, so reaching 40 already makes you a venerable, wise elder. Congratulations, partner. You are a survivor. For now. The fight, however, is far from over. And then, one day, your story, like countless others, reaches its inevitable end. Perhaps an unexpected bullet in a grimy saloon, cutting your thread of life abruptly short. Maybe a crippling accident out in the harsh, unforgiving fields you tried to tame. Or a virulent disease, a silent killer that the primitive medicine of the era simply couldn't cure. Or perhaps, just perhaps, you die peacefully in your own bed, though peacefully is relative. Exhausted, your body finally surrenders after a lifetime of relentless struggle. You fought against the raw, indifferent forces of nature, the cruelty of men, and the relentless march of time. You close your eyes for the very last time, and the profound, echoing silence of the frontier embraces you. No one will remember your name. Your individual story will fade into the wind and the dust. But your life, dear viewer, was the very embodiment of an era's brutal, untamed spirit. You lived and died in the Old West, where freedom came at an exorbitant cost, and adventure was, in truth, an unrelenting battle for sheer survival. So, partner, that was your luck of being born into the untamed chaos of the Old West. A place of thrilling legends, yes, but also of a brutal reality that would make most of us cry for a cell phone charger. It's so easy to romanticize this era, to view it through rose-tinted glasses. But the truth is, it was a life of unrelenting daily challenges, where every sunrise was a hard-won triumph. So, after all you've learned today, do you still believe the Old West was purely about grand adventure? Or would you trade it all for a comfy couch, a stable Wi-Fi connection, and a glorious hot shower today? Tell me what you thought of this wild story in the comments below, and if you would have dared to face such a life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next thrilling journey through time. And be sure to ring that notification bell. Until the next video. And please, stay safe and well fed out there.